I have gone almost as far as I can go into the dark backward and abysm of time to untangle the roots that brought me to this stage. I cannot tell you about other memorable teachers such as Professor Nagler, who once answered a student's question about how long a paper should be with, well, one student wrote 600 pages, but that was too long. Or my college teacher of Renaissance literature, Dr. Memo. Yes, Dr. Memo, whose false teeth sometimes disagreed with him, but who still taught us to love La Vita Nuova. Or Father Ferrand, who taught French, theology, and skepticism at Regis High School. It was Ferrand who put before us a story by Alphonse Daudet that inspired me to become a teacher and thence a student of memory. Here it is, my friends, my Rosebud, an impossibly sentimental story set at the end of the Franco-Prussian War, told from the perspective of a French Alsatian schoolboy, entitled The Last Class. This morning, I was very late getting to school, and I was afraid of being scolded because Monsieur Hamel had said he would be quizzing us on the participles, and I didn't know the first word. It occurred to me I might skip class. The day was warm and bright. The blackbirds were whistling at the edge of the woods, but I resisted the urge and hurried towards school. Passing the town hall, I saw a group of people gathered in front of the notice board. For the past 2 years, that has been where we've gotten all the bad news. The battles lost, the demands, the commands, and I thought, without stopping, what now? Then as I ran by, the blacksmith Wachter, who was there with his apprentice, called to me, "Oh, don't rush, boy. You have plenty of time to get to school." I thought he was teasing me, and I was out of breath as I reached Monsieur Hamel's. Normally, when class starts, there is noise enough to be heard from the street as desks are open and shut. Students repeat lessons together and boldly and loudly with hands over their ears to learn better, and the teacher's big ruler knocking on the tables, "Let's have some quiet." I was hoping to use the commotion to sneak into place unnoticed, but today all was silent, like a Sunday morning. Through the open window, I saw my classmates already in their seats, and Monsieur Hamel, who went back and forth with his ruler tucked under his arm. I had to open the door and enter amidst this great calm. Monsieur Hamel looked at me evenly and said, gently, "Take your seat quickly. We were starting without you." I hopped the bench and sat at my desk right away. Only after I had settled in did I notice our teacher had on his fancy green coat, his ruffled shirt, and embroidered silk cap he wore only on inspection or award days. Also, the whole room seemed oddly solemn. But what surprised me most was at the back of the room, where the benches were always empty, now sat people of the village, quietly, like us. Old Hauser with his tricorn, the former mayor, the postmaster, and some others. Everyone looked sad, and Hauser had brought his old primer, worn at the edges, which he held open on his knees. While I was taking all this in, Monsieur Hamel stood by his chair, and in the same grave, gentle voice with which he had welcomed me, told us, "Children, this is the last time I will teach the class. Orders from Berlin require that only German be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. The new teacher arrives tomorrow. Today is your last French lesson. I ask for your best attention." These words hit me hard, those beasts. That's what they had posted at the town hall. My last French lesson. I wished now to have the lost time back. The classes missed as I hunted for eggs or went skating on the Saar. My books that I had always found so boring, so heavy to carry, my grammar text, my history of the saints, they seem to me now like old friends I couldn't bear to abandon. It was the same with Monsieur Hamel. The idea that he was leaving made me forget his scolding and the thumps of his ruler. Poor man. Now I understood why the old men from the village were gathered at the rear of the class. They were there to show that they too were sorry for neglecting to attend school more. It was also a way to thank our teacher of 40 years for his fine service and to show their respect for the country. I was pondering these things when I heard my name called. It was my turn to recite. What wouldn't I have given to say that vaunted rule of participles loudly, clearly, flawlessly? Instead, I tangled the first words and stood hanging onto my desk, my heart pounding, unable to raise my head. I heard Monsieur Hamel say, "I won't scold you. You must already feel bad. That's how it is." We always say, I have time. I'll learn tomorrow. And now you see, it has come. Then Monsieur Hamel spoke of the French tongue, saying it was the most beautiful language in the world, the most clear, the most sensible, that we must keep it ourselves and never forget it, because when a people, if they hold on to their language, it is like holding the prison key. Then he took a grammar text and read us our lesson. I was stunned to realize how well I understood it. I believe also that I had never listened so well and that he had never explained it to us so patiently. One might think that the poor man wished to give us all his knowledge to fill our heads in a single try. After grammar, we moved on to writing. For this day, Monsieur Hamel had prepared new examples written in beautiful round script. France, Alsace, France, Alsace. It was something to see everyone set to our work, and so silently. The only sound was the scratching of pens on paper. On the roof, the pigeons cooed softly. When I heard them, I said to myself, will they be forced to sing in German too? From time to time, when I'd raise my eyes from my writing, I would see Monsieur Hamel still in his chair, staring at the objects around him, as if he wanted to memorize exactly how things were in the little schoolhouse. All the same, he bravely kept class to the very end. After writing, we had a history lesson. Then the little ones sang together their ba, be, bee, bo, boo. At the rear of the room, old Hauser put on his glasses and, holding his primer in both hands, chanted the letters with them. It was obviously a great effort for him. His voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we wanted to laugh and cry. I do remember that last class. Suddenly, the church clock struck noon. Monsieur Hamel rose, colorless, from his chair. Never had he appeared so large. My friends, say, but something choked him. He couldn't say it. He turned to the board, took a piece of chalk, and using all of his strength, he wrote as large as he could. Vive la France. He stayed there, his head resting on the wall, and wordlessly used his hand to motion to us. It's over. You may go. Thank you.